Welcome to an episode of One on One, where we sit down with some of your favorite hospitality professionals. Today we have Mohammad Hanif Al Qassim, Managing Partner of The Manor by JA. Hello, Mohammad.
Hey, Simon.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am good, thank you. So, we are sitting in your majlis right now. We were having a conversation before we started this interview about what these kinds of spaces were used for. And I think it's pretty cool that we're sitting here using this space now to talk a little bit about you and your history and your journey. I want to start this interview by asking you to tell me a little bit about who you are. I'd like to know your upbringing, what were some of your interests as a kid, because I want to get a sense of who you were before and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, thank you so much. To make it very straightforward, I mean, the UAE represents a big, diverse population. I think my upbringing has been or gone hand in hand with that. So I myself have been traveling with my father since I was young. We've lived in the US and Saudi and multiple areas in the UAE. So I think that shaped me in some way. And when I've grown up and started my career with Etihad Airways, kind of continued that path of always traveling and trying new stuff.
Mohammed, do you remember what hospitality felt like or looked like back in the day in the UAE when you were a kid?
Yeah, I mean, since we were young, I think all of us, when we would travel and stay at a hotel, it used to be an experience. And of course, at the time in Dubai, which I mean, I don't want to sound very old, but at the time, there weren't many options. There are certain hotspots in Dubai or the UAE, such as Hatta and Jebel Ali, where I think many of the people used to go, and we've all created those memories because of the limited kind of options that were there. And now, of course, you know, it's very well known, and I think Dubai is established hospitality destinations with many options. So it was certainly very interesting to see that growth in a short time.
I want to talk about the different roles that you've had, specifically touching on your role with Etihad Airways. Before we get to that, tell us a little bit about your education, because I know that you have a degree from the University of Dubai. So what did you study originally when you went to school, and what did you think you were going to do afterwards?
I mean, at the time, at that age, I mean, I think everyone was trying to figure out what he is going to do. Certainly, aviation wasn't something I was, or I knew that I'm going to venture into. I studied business management, which kept my options very open. And that would lead eventually of me joining Etihad Airways. With Etihad, of course, I mean, the program that was designed for Emiratis at the time was a very rich program. 3 years where you would be learning about the systems of Etihad in Abu Dhabi, learning about the technical aspect of being a commercial manager. And then for the next 2 years you would be stationed, or for the next 2 years you'd be stationed in different countries. So the first year I was in Scotland, the second year it was in Melbourne, and I think that really helped me grow, not as a professional only, but as a person, continuing since I was young and in my adolescence, traveling with my father, that somehow continued when I started my career and I started moving around with the airline, and that really shaped me to the person I am today.
What do you think travel does for people?
I think it's certainly an eye-opener. It gives us perspective. We find it easier to put ourselves in other people's shoes. The more we travel, the more we have knowledge and experience new cultures, and again, you would see yourself grow the more you would travel and you more interact with people who come from different backgrounds, of course.
I want to talk about the role you had with Etihad Airways, because one of your responsibilities was to promote the UAE as a destination of choice. Tell me what your strategy was for that and what kind of insights you gathered from that role.
So when it comes to promoting UAE and Abu Dhabi, we have to just make sure we focus on the future plans. Dubai is very well known for its metropolitan dynamic lifestyle. Abu Dhabi has a different focus of investing in culture, and that's what we wanted to do. And at the end of the day, being a salesperson of Etihad, you promote Dubai or Abu Dhabi for you as an airline. As long as you get people to travel, that's when you succeed.
What do you think about the travel and tourism industry today? Because I'm sure even though you're not currently in the role that you were with Etihad, but you see the volume, the growth. What do you make of the growth of the travel and tourism industry, of the people? Because it seems like you've done your job, because a lot more people are coming to the UAE.
I think it would have happened regardless. But yeah, we can see the numbers growing year on year. It's very exciting. Visitors are coming in flocks. But it's not only about visitors and tourism. We have people who are looking for jobs. Student numbers are growing as well. So I think that holistic package that attracts people has really done its job. For us, we're just playing a supportive role. I think for the past 18 months, it has been growing rapidly, and it's going to continue to grow. So I'm very, very excited for a very fun period ahead.
I'm going to be excited too then. So let's talk about your role as the youngest Global Advisory Council member for the hospitality, financial and technology professionals.
Well, I mean, that was a very unique opportunity. I'm very glad that I contributed to that role. But for sure that I myself gained more by being in that organization. HFTP has been around or has been established since the 50s in the US. So for me to rub shoulders with industry giants was an amazing experience. As any organizations globally, Dubai certainly is an interesting place to be working in. And HFTP has started conducting their business in Dubai for the past few years. I got the chance to meet with them. They've always wanted to have that diverse opinion of professionals. So being an Emirati representing the market here, they thought that I would have great input to the organizations. So I joined them, and I was exposed to many ideas that benefited me and my role as the managing partner. And one of them was introducing the first hotel in the region, and possibly the world, that accepts cryptocurrency. So the Manor was, a pioneer in that aspect. And it wouldn't have happened without exchanging the ideas, because when HFTP, we were always talking about what the future would look like, how technology would disrupt our business. And during those discussions, crypto always came up, and I thought, I have an opportunity here. We're discussing it. Let's give it a chance. And since then, it has been a successful endeavor.
Can you give us a very brief overview of exactly what the organization does?
HFTP designs education programs for the professionals, and they do have multiple events during the year where big names in the industry would come talk about their ideas. Companies would come and display their products that are groundbreaking. So usually the annual HFTP conference happens in the US, which is a big event. And other than that, we have chapters around the world. So mostly kind of having that kind of two-way information education program going on.
And I'm going to stress this again, you were the youngest Global Advisory Council member. How old were you at the time?
I was 31.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did it feel like?
For me, it was certainly an honor to be part of the organization. But as soon as I joined, we were tasked to create the curriculum or the program for the next annual event, and you get lost to it and just try to keep up with people who have been in the industry for decades. And for me, that was the enriching experience. I gained more than I could have kind of contribute to the organization, that's for sure.
I mean, congratulations, that's quite an honor. So you mentioned some of the achievements and success that you were able to do with the Manor. I know that you've also been one of the first hotels at the time where sustainability wasn't really a major priority, shall I say. You were doing a lot of sustainable efforts at the hotel. But before we get to how you stayed ahead of the curve, I kind of want to talk about your road to becoming the managing partner of the Manor. How did that happen?
It wasn't, as you said, I worked at Etihad for a few years, so it's very unusual to kind of make that shift. But because it has been the family business, I had the responsibility to be part of it. And as soon as I finished my outstations at Etihad, which was a very fun, interesting, exciting experience, I came back and that opportunity was there. I've been entrusted by the family to look into or kind of get the construction part of the hotel done. And there where I made the shift. Of course, construction is a very different ball game than operating the hotel. But again, that has been part of the journey for sure.
So you are now managing partner at the Manor by JA. What are some of your responsibilities?
I mean, we try to, of course, JA is again an Emirati brand. They have been operating hotels since the 1980s, so they know the market very well. As owners, we know that we give them the space to operate. At the same time, we try to help out and support as much as we can, and maybe contribute when it comes to strategic decisions. But going back to sustainability, Simone, when we started the construction, I think a lot of the credit has to go to the developer or the government regulators, because unless you have 26% energy saving, you will not be able to get the completion certificate for your building. So they're already a big part of the change or the shift in that industry has been pushed by the government. Now it's up to the business owners and the developers to either do the minimum or take it beyond. And that's where we thought it does make sense. This is where the future is. Unless, if you invest now, it is much cheaper than if you're going to invest in a few years. So we made sure that we followed the lead of the government. Mm-hmm. Instead of going with a 26% energy saving, we reached 40%. And we can see how that really, made a difference in our bottom line to this date.
What year was that?
So we completed the construction in 2019. We started operations on the 1st of January 2020.
So in 2019, you made the decision to go 40% in energy saving in terms of building, the hotel.
Yeah.
Where did that insight come from? Because we are having conversations across the hospitality landscape today, and I think it's fair to say we don't have to convince people anymore that sustainability is such an important priority. But I think in 2019, we definitely still had to convince people, but you didn't need any convincing.
No, it's of course a team effort. My father was very involved, and being in Dubai, you have access to many partners who are specializing in energy saving and green initiatives. So if you know the right people, they would get you to the minimum, but then they will take it to the next level where you can start saving more and more. It's a team effort. I think we knew where the wind was blowing, and then we just took full advantage of all the opportunities we have.
Something interesting you said, that decision that you made to push it to 40% energy saving has been benefiting up until today, the hotel. Can you tell me how?
We can see how much we are saving compared to the competitors when it comes to electricity or water or sewage or what have you. The only issue we have now is we are trying to do more, and when sometimes you get experts, they say, well, we can't save as much because you've already really went kind of to the maximum. But again, I think a lot of investments happening in energy saving technologies.
Mm-hmm.
Solar panels are much more efficient now, are much more affordable. So every year you have to reevaluate where you stand and make sure that you are aware of whatever progress or breakthrough that has been happening with technology when it comes to energy saving.
One of your other strategies that you mentioned was being one of the first hotels in the region, if not in the world, to accept cryptocurrency as payment. When you started that initiative at the hotel, what was the feedback from the customers? Did you have a lot of customers coming in and paying with crypto?
I think the first few months was certainly very beneficial. We've seen some pickup when it comes to crypto. Again, the way we evaluate it is we're not going to go blindly, but we make sure that we adjust our operations and our booking systems to work with how volatile crypto is. So again, that's the biggest kind of comment or disadvantage you see with cryptocurrencies going up and down. So we partnered with Binance, who are the experts when it comes to crypto. They were very eager to get a hotel on board. And then we just kind of tweaked how we operate, the T's and C's of a booking that comes with crypto. And we've seen decent revenue coming from crypto. It's a very interesting market to be in, but we like to be the trailblazer kind of hotel. We would pave the path for other hotels, and certainly after a few months, more hotels in Dubai adopted cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So it's for sure it's a learning experience which is still ongoing.
If you can say, what is next for the Manor? What have you got off your sleeves?
I think the Manor it's been open for 3-4 years. It's matured. I think it's established. My father and I invested a lot of time, effort in making it the best version of itself. That's going to continue, but expanding the brand for sure. We have a few projects in the UAE that we are interested in developing, and you'll be the first to know once we announce the plans.
I hope so, and I cannot wait.
Yes.
I want to talk about the general hospitality landscape. What do you think about it?
I think it's growing in the area. I think we're going to see a rise in local operators or kind of the white labels, independent hotels. The international chains would still remain a big player, but now with the information that people have and with the third-party kind of hosts when it comes to, for example, Airbnb, there's a different dimension opening up, and that would give more options to the people as well as for the owners. There's certainly advantages and disadvantages working with international brand, and the same goes with the local brand, but depends what you require. Maybe in the past that wasn't an option due to the size and scale of the international operators, but now local operators or local franchises might have a comeback.
The hospitality, specifically the F&B sector, has attracted so much investment and so much attention. Like never before, really. People are just so interested in what's going to be the latest in F&B. Speaking of that, what do you think about the F&B space? Do you think that might be an opportunity for you to invest in or get involved in?
Yeah, I think why not? As you said, there are many success stories. As you said, homegrown. It's certainly a big part of the economy. We've been doing hospitality, and a big part of it is F&B. So if we have the right opportunity and we see that there is somewhere where we can add value, why not, for sure.
What concerns you the most about where hospitality is heading?
There is no concern. We had a very tough period, maybe in COVID. Everybody did. But again, if we take the positives, we saw how everybody kind of worked together collectively with our partners, and we pulled through. So for me now, as a hotel owner, of course, it's always making sure that you have the right product for the customer. New hotels are being announced, are being delivered every year. So competition is fierce, but that's our job to always stay ahead of the competition and have a great product for the consumer. As for the consumer, they can enjoy, they can sit back, see how a healthy competition, deliver great product and experience for a very affordable price. It's going to continue, and it's a very, very interesting period ahead.
So, speaking of F&B, what are some of your favorite places to eat in Dubai?
Okay, it's a tough question.
This is the tough question.
This
is the tough one.
It's a hard ball because there are too many options, and even
Yes.
when we travel or go on vacation, we're always comparing what we eat to Dubai.
Yeah.
You say, well, okay, it's nice, but we still have Dubai. For me, I always tend to go towards the hidden gems. Nothing that's trending. One restaurant that springs to mind is, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called Long Yin, and the Meridian, the airport road. It's been there for a while, but they have a fantastic menu, and I always enjoy going there.
What else?
I think a good example of a homegrown restaurant is the Fana restaurant, which really kind of occupy the space of having that Emirati cuisine married with the kind of fit out of an Emirati old kind of bazaar or souk. So that restaurant certainly is popular with Emiratis as well as expatriates and tourists, and has been growing across the UAE. So that's, I think, a very great example of kind of ticking all the boxes.
What are you excited about in terms of your professional career for the next few years ahead?
I have been very fortunate, being able to travel while I was younger, being part of that amazing program that Etihad offered to Emiratis. I moved, or I've worked in the private sector. I've always working and keeping an eye on the family business. I recently moved to a government role, not that long ago, and as of now, I think wherever I can kind of contribute and make sure whatever I experience and whatever investment that has been made in me is paid back some way or another towards the mission of the government.
What you're looking forward to seeing in the UAE as a country in the next couple of years?
That's the toughest question, because we've always been, or we've all been grown accustomed to having new things happen even before you think about any kind of initiative. So for us, we've been spoiled. It's a very interesting example is I recently joined the leadership program, Mohammed leadership program, which is endorsed by the government of Dubai, and we've taken up a project that would address any kind of urban planning issues or shortcomings. So first thing we've done is looked at the gold standard, the best standard that has been delivered anywhere in the world, and compared to here. And always we've seen that any kind of idea, any kind of initiative is already being addressed. So we've came to the conclusion when we came back to the leadership or the management of the leadership program is that whatever we're trying to do is already being done. We've been communicating with the authorities and it's being done. And one thing is, a big part of it is how to increase walkability in the UAE, or Dubai, sorry. And again, when you talk about walkability, the element of the weather would come into play. And you would be surprised that the government is already thinking about how can we make sure the weather is bearable. So for me, once I experienced that, it's very tough to imagine something that is not already being discussed or happening. So I can't answer that question.
We certainly do feel like we are living in the future sometimes,
yes,
in comparison to the rest of the world.
It's true.
Mohammad, for you personally, what is going to be your, because you have all of these incredible things going on that dive into different spaces and different sectors. What's going to be your next great adventure?
I mean, I think there's always a beauty when you don't know, and when an opportunity presents itself to you. But one thing is for sure, since I started my career, every year has been different, and that hasn't been, you know, I don't think it's natural that I would be in a country every year or in a role every year, but that has been the case for the past 9-8 years. I am sure that next year would be different, would be new, the year after it would be different and would be new, and I'm excited about it.
I like that you want to bask in the unknown. I'm going to give you like this or that questions, and without spending too much time thinking about it, you're just gonna tell me what resonates with you the most. So you ready?
Sure.
Are you sure you're ready?
Yes.
Okay. Pizza or Chinese food?
Chinese food.
Okay. Sauce on the side or sauce on the top?
On the side.
Okay. Vanilla or chocolate?
Vanilla.
Camping or glamping?
Camping for sure.
Final question. Very important. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mohammed.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.